Welcome to Rochester Voices. I'm Kim Norton, the mayor for the city of Rochester, and I have two wonderful guests joining me today. We have Councilmember Norman Wahl and Councilmember Dan Doering, who are here to talk a little bit about the business of the city and how city meetings are run.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
thanks.
Really happy to have you here, and maybe you could just talk a little bit about Councilmember Wahl, you've been here a little bit longer, so maybe we'll start with you. What's been your experience about public comment and community engagement at board meetings and beyond since you've been a member?
You know, at the meetings themselves, it seems like the public engagement is more people talking at rather than talking with. The better public engagement is always done outside of the meetings, and I would hope you'll be getting into this, Mayor. I hope that we can have some of that better dialogue rather than simply not responding to one another, as are the rules of the council and the meetings, but to better engage the voices of the community.
Wonderful. And Councilmember Doering, you're newer. You've been here since January, and I'm wondering if you have a similar outlook or perspective having attended now meetings for 8 months.
Yeah, I agree completely with my colleague. You know, the most meaningful dialogue I've had with constituents have been outside of those meeting spaces. I've experienced those public comments as people, again, speaking to us, really seeking to provide their input, but it's been interesting to not be able to engage in meaningful dialogue or respond to their questions. So, you know, my meaningful dialogues have happened at their doorsteps or in coffee shops or things like that. So I'm very interested in developing a process where we can have those dialogues in a meaningful and respectful way.
And so just for the community's kind of understanding, at a city council meeting, there are 7 council members. I sit at the dais at one end, and our city administrator sits at the other. If you've never watched, you certainly can go online and watch a meeting after the fact if you like, or live. But the 7 council members then sit during the public comment section. A community member can come to the microphone and speak for 2 minutes. There is often blank expressions on everyone's face, and we're not to give feedback. We do not speak, we just listen. And I think we've heard that is unnerving for some members of our community and unsatisfying to others who really want to hear an answer or response, and that's not what the public comments is set up for. So Councilmember Wahl, could you talk a little bit about the experience you and I had at the National League of Cities conference that led us to what we'll talk about next?
Yes, we were together at this National League of Cities conference, and there are workshops that one can attend to learn more about better government. And this one was better public meetings. And I think both of us resonated to some of the presentations, particularly one with whom we would like to work in the near future, that seemed to hold some promise for moving beyond some of the frustrations that not just Rochester, but according to him, so many cities in the nation face in terms of how we receive the public voice. So that was really instructive and encouraging, and bringing that back to the city of Rochester, I think, can be good for all of us.
I think so too, and as a result of the 2 of us sitting through that meeting, we did make contact with the National Civic League, which is an over 100-year-old organization who is all about supporting democracy in the best ways possible. So they do a lot of innovative approaches, and they will be doing some research in Rochester, and we can talk about that. Councilmember Doering, could you talk a little bit about why do you think this is a good time to do this? Do you have any thoughts about that?
Oh, I have so many thoughts, and I'm going to keep them really short. But, you know, given the tenor of political discourse in the country today, where it seems that, you know, no matter what side of the aisle someone might be on, it seems like we're spending a lot of time just talking at each other and not with each other. I think we have the opportunity as a city to model a different way of moving forward, model a different way of being community with one another, a different way of having a actual civil discourse with one another. We won't agree at all times, but we can model a way of having conversation, of having the ability to listen to one another, trying to come to mutual understanding of one another, of where we're going, what we want to accomplish. Even though we might have different outcomes in mind, just listening to one another is more productive than shouting at one another, for lack of a better word. So I think the opportunity is now to do this, and I'm excited about the opportunity to engage in this.
Thank you, and
Yeah.
I'm wondering if either of you have thoughts about what you hope to learn, or do you have any things you want to explore as we move ahead with this process, which, just for the public's knowledge, we'll start with research. The researcher will look at what we're currently doing and do some surveying of the people that comment, the people that listen, which would be you, but also administration and others, and then give us feedback in about 2 months about what that research, about what people think about our current processes is. Do you have any thoughts about what you hope it will become?
I don't necessarily have preconceived notions about what I hope it will become. I am very excited about them coming here and seeing how it is that Rochester is similar or different from other places, and how we can craft a process that will serve us better. Any hopes that would process from that would be hopes for opportunities for the council to engage with groups of people, because we already engage thoroughly on a one-to-one basis, or maybe a 1 to 5 or 6 basis in small groups. But how do many of us, and of course the council is going to have to agree to this, because these would be public meetings that we don't do behind closed doors, open meeting laws, happy to do that, but that we have really cordial conversation, not always agreeing, as Councilmember Doering says, but that we respect each other at the end of the discussion.
Absolutely. Do you have any other thoughts about that?
I agree with those sentiments completely, and I look forward to an outcome of a process that engenders more trust with the community here, that we are indeed looking out for the community's best interest. As a newly elected council member, I certainly hear from constituents who are upset that they don't feel like that they are being heard, whether that is in a public forum or through comments on Facebook or social media or whatever. And I'm looking forward to hearing through research, through data, how to develop a process so that those folks do feel like their voices are being heard and being reflected in the conversations that they hear us having as we develop policy to have Rochester be the community that really welcomes all people. So I'm looking towards an outcome. I don't know what that outcome is going to be at this point. I'm looking forward to the process that will lead to that outcome.
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the things that's been exciting to me is we'll get the research. That research will be shared publicly with the community when he comes to town. And then from there, we will talk about as a group, and there's a team of 3 city council members, 3 staff members, and myself, as well as the professionals that we've gotten the grant from. And we will really dig into what do people like and not like about our current process? And I think we'll learn what they might like more of. And that's what I'm hoping we hear. What do they want more of? Do they want more feedback from us? Do they want more time to speak? Do they want it in a less formal setting? What is it they want? And then we will create, as a team, opportunities, maybe pilot some things, and then measure that to find out if it's what the community wants. And I think to the point both of you have made, the solution is better policy, and policy that people understand and feel like they had a voice in. So that's what I'm hoping we get to in all this. Are there any other things that you're hoping or expecting that we haven't touched on here?
Yes, I reflect back to a meeting that I had maybe a couple of months ago, and it was a small group, maybe about 7 or 8. I expected it to be 2, and then walked into a meeting where there were more
I think
people.
we've all done that.
Yeah. So it was a little bit jarring at first, but they had an opportunity to both inform me and to be informed by what I might know. While this is a group that I might not necessarily expect to agree with on every point, we came away feeling like we were engaged together. Now, if they could have an opportunity to do that and both inform and influence an entire city council, and that we might be able to reflect back, well, here might be some of the challenges with those particular items, I think that we will be much better situated to move together as a community.
I agree.
Yeah, I think my colleague put it well, so I have nothing else to add. I think that was exactly the goal of, I think, of this process. So I just look forward to engaging in it.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it too. And so a couple things as we're wrapping up here that I want to make sure people know, which is you don't have to come to a city council meeting in order to be heard. We have emails. We come out in the public and talk when we're invited. And I've mentioned this before in another program that we read our own emails. We don't have staff do it for us. Wouldn't that be nice? But, no, not to read my emails, but to do some other work.
Norman loves McDonald's coffee. I'm more of a Novios fan myself. There you go.
So we have those meetings in the community with people as they desire. So don't hesitate, I guess is my point to the community. Don't hesitate to contact whether it be your city council members, your state legislator, or even your congress people. They're elected to serve you. So don't think you have to wait for a meeting to do that. And we hope that through this better meetings process that we're going to be going through this year, that by the end of the year, we will have found ways to improve the meetings and our boards and commissions so that your voice is heard even more. So thank you both for coming and sharing a little bit about the Better Meetings process. I'm really looking forward to having pilots and seeing what we can do better here in Rochester.
Thank you, Mayor Norton.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you next time.